Welcome, Binge Watchers, where we talk about the stories and characters we love and the shows they live in. My name is Ron, and let's talk about Death Note, both the anime and the Netflix movie. When the movie was released, I really wanted to watch it, but I've never watched the show. I've heard about it for years, but never watched it. Then the reviews for the movie started rolling in, and most of them were talking about how the movie fails to capture all the things that were amazing about the show. So I had to see for myself, but I had to watch the show first. If it was even half as good as people said it was, it would still be incredible. So now, after having watched the 37 episodes of Death Note, yes, it's something special. It's pretty damn good. Death Note has to be one of the most binge-worthy shows I've ever watched, and considering the name of this channel, that's saying something. Every episode is only about 20 minutes long, but so much happens in every single episode. And a lot of it really wouldn't work if it was anything other than anime. So much of this show is about geniuses trying to outmaneuver one another, trying to be 10 steps ahead. So they scrutinize everything, every word anyone says, every action, everything they see, everything anyone does. So for any of it to make sense, we need a lot of internal monologues. The show needs to walk you through the thought process of these impossibly clever people. And anime lends itself to this type of storytelling. Even if the way these characters overcome obstacles is not really something that would work in real life, you're still able to figure out how they did it, how they got there, before the part where the show recaps everything and makes sure you got it. The movie is not able to do that. Lengthy and complicated internal monologues are very difficult to pull off in good movies. So with the way they chose to structure the Netflix movie, they didn't stand a chance. So it ends with the main character just saying, here are all the clever things I did off camera, Ocean's 11 style, so it feels very passive. I'm probably not gonna say anything here that hasn't already been said a million times, but I think that one of the best things about the Death Note show is that it's not really about the Death Note itself. If you haven't watched it, the show tells the story of Light. He's this super smart high school student, and he finds this notebook. If you write someone's name in it, that person dies. Light decides to use this notebook to rid the world of evil and to become the god of this new evil-free world. To do this, he takes on the persona of Kira. The show is about the concept of justice. What is justice? How do you define it? Does the end justify the means? On the one hand, killing can be considered evil, but once Kira starts punishing criminals, crime rates do go down. Does that make it okay? Wisecrack did a really good video about these conflicting definitions of justice. I linked to it below along with some of my other favorite Death Note videos. But this crazy magical murder notebook is just a plot device in the show, and it feels that the story would have been completely different if anyone other than Light picked up that notebook. The movie is very much about the notebook and what it does to Light and his girlfriend. It feels like the movie takes the Death Note from the show and drops it into the world of Hollywood tropes that everybody knows. The smart kid who gets picked on at school, the femme fatale girlfriend. The only character in the movie who remains somewhat similar to their anime counterpart is L, the inhumanly genius detective who goes after Kira, which felt weird because, of course, the emotional idiot movie version of Light doesn't stand a chance against L. I mean, the way that the movie shows us that Light is supposed to be smart is by saying, hey, he's really good at doing math homework, but he's not the master strategist Light and both the movie and anime versions of L are. Which could have been fine. It could have been an interesting take on the Death Note story if the show asks, what would this genius, narcissistic chess player mastermind would do with the Death Note? The movie could have asked, what would just, a regular, relatively smart high school student would do with it? But it doesn't. It tries to do both and it fails. I get why the movie is so frustrating to fans of Death Note. Death Note feels like a masterpiece of storytelling, and it does get all over the place every now and then, but I was on the edge of my seat up until the end of the last episode. So when you watch the anime, if you liked it, and then you watch the movie, it feels like someone took this very special story that asks these philosophical questions about the nature of justice and is told in a very unique way and tries to put that story in a very generic storytelling box. So it's stripped of everything that made Death Note amazing, just like most reviews said it did. I imagine that if you watch the movie without watching the anime first, it probably feels like an okay, mediocre movie that kind of has an interesting premise. I really don't know how they could have pulled it off. Maybe they should have just focused on a smaller part of the story. Maybe the Death Note story is just too big for a 2-hour movie. I think they knew that no matter what they did, they were going to disappoint some or most of the fans, so they tried to make a movie that a broader audience would have fun with, and that usually results in a very average throwaway movie, which this is. I didn't think it was complete garbage. I think that as its own movie, it's the type of thing you watch when you're very bored or on a plane. Probably very bored on a plane. Maybe once they realized they bit off more than they could chew with this story, they should have just gone, full Final Destination with it. Just have Light write a name and let us watch a crazy, unlikely, stupid, fun death scene play out with Willem Dafoe just laughing in the background. I mean, it still would have reduced the thought-provoking, masterfully told story of Death Note to mindless entertainment, but they sort of did that anyway, didn't they? So maybe they should have just gone all the way with it. Did you know that there were 5 Final Destination movies made between 2000 and 2011? So, bottom line, should you watch it? Well, the Netflix movie, no, not really. Unless you're bored on a plane, then sure, it's ideal bored on a plane viewing. If I were to do a complete Jeremy Jahns ripoff movie review thing and have like a sentence-based scoring system, bored on a plane, I would totally use that. The anime, I want to say that you'd like it even if you don't like anime, but I feel that it benefits so much from the tenets of anime storytelling. So I think that if you do like anime and you find the premise interesting, then you're probably gonna love it. You probably already watched it. I was super late to this party. All of you have probably watched this show and are now thinking, yeah, Ron, Death Note is great. Real groundbreaking stuff. What's next? The controversial opinion of The Wire being a good crime drama? I actually did that one too, didn't I? And finally, dubs versus subs all the way. I watched a couple of episodes on Netflix with the English dub and it does not work at all. So let me know your thoughts about Death Note, the show or the movie. Maybe you thought the movie was great, maybe you thought it sucked. Let me know all your thoughts in the comments down below. And also let me know what other anime you think I should watch and maybe would work as a live action Hollywood movie. If you're gonna be talking about spoilers, please use spoiler tags in your comments, and if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. It really helps out a lot, and you can find me on TV Time or on Twitter or Instagram. You can find all the links below. You can also join our Discord server where we chat about TV, and it's a lot of fun. And if you're finding binge watchers for the first time, welcome. I'd like to invite you to join the binge watchers community. Come talk about TV with us. It's a lot of fun. Subscribe to the channel. But in any case, keep binging, and I will see you next time.